Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Colts Cast. We're here to talk about anything and everything Indianapolis Colts. I am your host, Jamal Lawrence, coming at you today with the final episode of the Colts Cast before the 2024 NFL Draft tomorrow night. So less than 24 hours away. I know Eric dropped his 7-round mock draft for us here just yesterday, so I wanted to make sure I got mine in before the draft just to see if we could get lucky, maybe get some right picks. So last year we had a couple right. We obviously most people knew Anthony Richardson, but I think we got lucky and we got a Josh Downs as well as Blake Freeland. So why not see if we can maybe get something right again today? So without further ado, we're going to get into it because I want to make sure that these 7 picks are maybe reasonable, feasible for you. Be sure to drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about these picks, whether you like them, whether you don't like them, who would you pick, maybe somebody you would change. But before we get into it, let's go ahead and please hit that like, subscribe button for us. Helps us to get out to other passionate Colts fans just like yourself. Absolutely free. And we are trying to work our way up to 2,000 subs. Hopefully we can get there before the season starts. But we're pushing strong right now, pushing strong. So please go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button for me and let me know what you think about this episode. Now, just some quick Colts news for us for today. Nothing too big, so I guess I shouldn't really say Colts news because it doesn't really affect us, but our name was mentioned in this through a few reports I was reading on X. So as we know, Brandon Ayuk still looking to get his contract all squared away, or I should say his future squared away, whether that be with the 49ers or not. But there are a couple things posted saying that the teams that will be interested in Brandon Ayuk will be the Colts and the Jags. So the 49ers are wanting a first-round pick for Brandon Ayuk. I really enjoy Brandon Ayuk and what he does. I mean, obviously, we've seen him work really well in that system out in San Francisco. And the Colts do have a 15 pick. I think that the 49ers would definitely entertain that if Chris Ballard were to give up a call and say, hey, would you be interested? However, I will say that I do think that the Colts should bypass on this. Like I'm sure 85% of Colts fans will probably say there's no reason to really go after Ayuk right now, especially with that 15 spot, because there are some other players in this draft who we could take advantage of and utilize. We mentioned 3 of them so far. We talked about Marvin Harrison Jr., Rome Odunze, and Brian Thomas Jr. Those are the big 3 as far as it goes for wide receivers, but there's just a slew of other ones behind them as well that could take off and elevate. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. The Colts at the number 15 spot would have to draft, in my opinion, if he's still there, Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver at LSU. Just mentioned that this guy's one of the big 3 out of those receivers. You don't want to so much waste time. I don't want to say waste time, but you don't want to have to worry about getting an Ayuk and paying him when you can get a Brian Thomas Jr., an elite receiver who's shown he has all the skills to get the job done at a rookie contract. Really get him on the field to elevate this offense. I mean, we've talked about him in episodes. Everybody who knows him knows that we will have a great player coming into this scheme with Shane Steichen. If we were to get Brian Thomas Jr., I mean, hands are there, speed is there, catch radius is there, ability to get those yards after catch, everything we want. Explosive playmaker. He would fit right in with our wide receiver room. He would fit right in with our quarterback, Anthony Richardson, and definitely would fit in with Coach Shane Steichen. So, but I definitely would entertain that if we had the opportunity to get him at that 15 spot. Now, I will say that, of course, the Colts only have 7 picks this draft. So I could definitely see Chris Ballard doing something and, whether that be trading back in round 1 or definitely trading to make some moves happen later on with some other picks to gather up a few extra additional picks. He's really big on getting that volume in. So I wouldn't be surprised. But in the event this entire draft for us right here, the 7-round mock draft is with 0 changes to what's going on. If this were to stay the way it is, I'm taking Brian Thomas Jr. at 15 if I have the opportunity to. Now, next up for us in round 2. This one, when I was using the simulator, of course, I was just going for, my opinion, BPA at this time. So, of course, I know that some of these names you may not agree with or whatever the case is, but these are my BPAs based off of the information I was given during that time. So, Adisa Isaac, edge out of Penn State at the 46th spot, round 2. Now, I went with him because we know that Kwity Paye is on his final year final contract with the Colts. Of course, they can express that 5th-year option next year if they want to, or they have the opportunity to move on. And Chop Robinson rightfully garnered most of the attention here. from Penn State this past year, which leaves Isaac right there. And he could, just saying, he could be the future at edge. He could very well be. Really good size and still has room for growth as far as in terms of weight and muscle, and also has a lot of room to grow in his run game. But his pass rush game is solid. Great ball awareness. He's able to jump the snap. He can drop back into coverage if we need him to. He's a little bit of he has a lot of ability for us that we could use really at that edge position. And I think that he could definitely grow, obviously, grow learning behind, Samson or learning behind Quiddy and these guys. So I wouldn't mind seeing someone like him being picked up in the second round at the edge spot for us. Got to be honest. Now, moving on up to the third round here for us. Round number 3. Javon Bullard, safety out of Georgia. And I like Bullard a lot. Of course, he's played in the SEC, played on the top ranked defense in the nation down in Georgia. So he definitely has played at the highest level and understood what it's like to play. And I really appreciate that when I think of these players and how they want to transition into the NFL. Not saying that that's the end all be all, but let's be clear. You're playing on, again, the top defense in the nation, playing in the SEC. You're going to have some of these skill sets and abilities that maybe some of these other guys don't have. So Colts, Colts still look to have a safety spot. So why not attack someone from the best defense in college football, like I just said? Great ball tracking skills, able to jump the route when he has the opportunity to. Hard tackler, versatile player who can be used wherever he's needed. He doesn't necessarily have to stay in the safety. He's known to drop down to the nickel spot. I know we have Kenny Moore, so we're not really so much worried about that. But the point is he has the ability to move around the field and go wherever is best. And of course, as we know, Julian Blackman, Nick Cross, Ronnie Thomas. So Julian only signed that 1-year contract. So we're going to have to continue to look at safety. What I like for a vet to be in there, absolutely. I still think we need a vet, but I really like Javon Bullard and what he brings to the table. And I think that he could definitely benefit from being on our squad as well as we benefit from him being on the squad. So I kind of like him there at that third round spot. Now, moving on to fourth round, you're probably thinking to yourself, dang, man, you still haven't talked about a single cornerback the entire time. Well, you're right. And the reason why I haven't talked about them is because Ballard said just the other day, he said, our they're not rookies anymore. Our young guys, they have 16, 17 games under their belt now. They've developed more. He has full confidence in them. So with that being said, I took the route of Ballard having full confidence. I'm going to go ahead and take his word on it, and we're going to draft the cornerback whenever I feel like it's the right time. And I felt like in the fourth round here for us was the right time. And I know a lot of people won't agree with that. So drop your comments below. Let me know how you feel about it. But just going by what Ballard said. At the 117 spot, we're going to pick up Cam Hart, cornerback out of Notre Dame. Now, when you think about him, high raw score, great size. He has great recovery speed. I like what he brings to the table. A great tackler, and he can take his time to learn this season. We have Dallas coming back, Dallas Flowers, Julian coming back, of course, Jalen Jones. These guys, fingers crossed, no injuries there for them. They should be in the game doing their thing. I think someone like Cam Hart has an opportunity to really learn on the practice field, getting those reps in until he can develop into a better player. But he has all the traits that Ballard looks for in a player. Great size, great height, great weight, huge long wingspan. That's what Ballard looks for in these players. And he looks to develop these guys. So why not go ahead and take a shot on someone like Cam Hart, who has some things you could work on, but you can get him for a steal here in the fourth round if he's still there, and really build up on him and have him work with our other young cornerback group. Now, moving on up to round 5 at 151, Zach Zinter, offensive guard from Michigan. Easy to say. We all know what Michigan did this year. They won the national championship. Now, Zach wasn't a part of all that because he did have an injury, but he's been with this team for these years with a strong offensive line, strong running game, explosive off the ball. He's a great run blocker, solid pass blocker. He can take great angles when he's pulling and get to the second level and get his hands on the linebackers and really dominate them. So that's what we look for. We know how explosive this offense is going to be. We know how it's been with JT back there. We know what it can be with Richardson and JT back there, or what it should be with JT and Richardson back there. So we need to make sure we have our offensive line ready to fly off the ball and take care of everything they can every single play. So I really like him coming in at the 5th round spot, Zach Zinter out of Michigan. Now, 6th round at number 191, Omar Speights, linebacker out of LSU. So Omar spent his first 4 years at Oregon State before transferring to LSU for his 5th year. So he's, I believe he's 20, was he 23 now? I believe it is. So he's had some skin in the game as far as it goes, but he's a patient guy with good vision. He's a good ball tracker. He can make, and that helps for some of his coverage issues he has. Once he sees the ball, he can get to it and make a play on it. He may not be that great in coverage, but he's someone who can develop as a linebacker, especially getting picked up in that 5th round. Good tackler and a tough player. And I really think, coming into this, he could be a decent value coming in this late, someone who we could really take and grow and develop with our linebacker core, because we definitely know that we're thin in the linebacker position and we want to make sure that we're safe back there. So why not go ahead and get somebody who has plenty of experience playing, playing on his 5th year, played his 5th year at LSU. So why not go ahead and bring him in here? And last but not least, just rounding out the house for us at 234. I actually believe Eric had this guy as well. Dominique Hampton, safety out of Washington. Again, another guy with a really high raw score at 9.74. Versatile guy who can play the zone. He's patient but aggressive when attacking the ball. Explosive speed, willing to make a big hit, and awareness before the snap. Awareness before the snap is super important. These guys can make sure that they are calling out different things they see, especially on the secondary level behind the linebackers. That they're going to have to watch the play develop quickly. So if he can kind of realize the coverages that are going on, he can make adjustments quick. Guy's an athletic guy, big guy. So I think that, he has an opportunity, if we were to draft him, to come in and learn and figure out whether or not we could utilize him in the long run. But again, I wanted to keep it short and sweet for you guys today. I know everybody's probably getting ready for the draft. You're antsy, you're excited. So again, drop a comment below, drop a like, hit the subscribe button. Let me know how you feel about these picks, whether you like them, whether you don't like them, what you would change, what you would keep the same. And let's get ready for tomorrow night. Hopefully we get some of these right. But tomorrow night is going to be a great day or a great night. Exciting times. We'll see what's going to happen. Ballard's either going to make a lot of us happy or a lot of us mad. So let's go ahead and get ready for that. But again, I'm Jamal. This is the Colts Cast. You can listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, any place you listen to, any platform you use to listen to podcasts. Appreciate you guys as always. Y'all take care. Have a great day and enjoy the night.